Well, welcome back for the second half of the vlog, where I'm going to be showing you what I picked up at the car boot sales this week, and well, a few other things that I got at other places as well. Firstly, I'd just like to talk about making gameplay videos, because like most of you who like doing the same sort of stuff I like doing with Gamers Living Room, you need a way to record your video, and for me I'm using the Hauppauge HD PVR. Now, I've not been having a lot of luck with it. I've got a Mac Mini, and on that I've been running a demo piece of software called HD Capture, and it was okay but a bit temperamental, so I wasn't tempted to upgrade to the full version of it. It worked okay, and for my last few videos I've been using that, recording chunks of 2 minutes at a time, because that was the maximum that you could in the demo. The other option when you've got a Mac and an HD PVR is to use Elgato's iTV. Now this, if you download it from their website, is £59.99, or I think $79.99. But I found a cheaper way to get it. Not stealing it, but through Amazon. No, not actually buying the software itself, but buying one of Elgato's products. And what I decided to get was the iTV DTT. Now, I don't really care about that. I don't want to watch television on my laptop or my Mac Mini. But every one of these comes bundled with iTV. So instead of paying £60, I paid £45 including delivery. I've given it a bit of a go. It's still a bit temperamental. I think I've just got to iron out the kinks with it. But hopefully I'll be able to make some better gameplay videos, and it will take less time and less hassle, because it can actually transcode them straight into .mov files, whereas there's a lot of fiddling around trying to get footage sorted out with my current setup of having to use Handbrake to transcode things into different formats so it works with Final Cut. But anyway, hopefully that'll all be out the window for the next video, and the process will be a lot quicker. Okay, on to the next thing, and the thing you're really here for is the actual gaming pickups. Now, I visited a car boot sale this weekend. Not one I'd been to before, and not one I was really intending to ever visit, because it starts at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, which for me is a little bit too early, even for video games. Now, I know those of you, and I've seen your videos, those of you who go out retro hunting, you know you've got to get up early in the morning, and I'm just a little bit too lazy. Well, fortunately, this weekend, my cat decided to wake me up at about 6:20, and I just couldn't get back to sleep. And so I thought, well, I'm going to seize this opportunity. I'm going to head on over to that car boot sale and snag me some retro bargains. And it worked out quite nicely for me. I got there about 7:10, which I felt might have been a little bit too late, because I feel like I missed some bargains. I'll explain a little bit more in a minute. But yeah, it was definitely a good car boot, and I'll be going back there sometime in the near future when I've got a few more pennies in the pocket. But anyway, on to the first of these things that I picked up. Now, this is Avatar: Legend of Aang, and I'd seen a couple of episodes of the cartoon. It's a Nickelodeon cartoon that was then recently turned into a live-action movie. So I thought, well, for 50p, I might as well give this game a go. It looks quite nice, and well, I couldn't complain at that price. And next, there's something that Capiche67 recommended, so thank you very much for letting me know about this game. And as you can see, this is Red Faction 2. Wasn't able to find the first one, but from what Capiche said, this is actually the better game, although unfortunately not the better story. It's in very good condition, had to pay £1 for it, but altogether not too bad. Now this, I think, was an absolute bargain. 50p for R-Type Final. I have no idea what it's like. but I do know that I love R-Type in all other shapes and forms that I've played it in, so I'm very much looking forward to getting this one in the PlayStation 2 and giving it a go. Now this next thing is something that I didn't think actually existed. My girlfriend is not really into video gaming. She likes a little bit of casual sort of social gaming. She likes to play a bit of Wii and a bit of Kinect, especially when we've got friends over for dinner and then, you know, afterwards we play one of those games, or she loves quiz games as well. But there is one platform game or adventure-y type game that she does like, and that is this. Although this is the Windows version, I knew it existed on the PlayStation because we've got it, and I knew it was on the Saturn, but I had no idea that there was a Windows version of this game. And this only set me back £1, so and it's in fantastic condition, so I was more than happy to pay that for it. And this next little gem is the Atari Anniversary Edition Reader. Now, it's missing its booklet, but otherwise looks in pretty good condition and only set me back 50p. I wouldn't say I'm a massive Atari fan, but I do have some very happy memories in the past of playing some of their titles, so I'm going to be looking forward to getting this one in the PlayStation and giving it a bit of a go sometime this week, hopefully. Now this next title is something that I won't be playing anytime soon because I don't have the first one, and as I'd mentioned before, I always like to play the first part of the story before I play the second, but I couldn't really pass this up. Again, this was 50p and it's in fantastic condition. Both discs, booklet, cases, pretty much immaculate. Now these next two I picked, I've just mentioned my girlfriend and how she likes quiz games. And one that we don't have, which is surprising, is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and these two came up. They're in a bit of tatty condition, but I think they'll both work. And two of these for £1, not really a bad price. I was hoping to get the two of them for 50p, but the guy wanted £1 each, and I managed to haggle him down to £1 for the two. So yeah, not too bad there. Now this final PlayStation 1 game is something I'd never seen before, and I do like it when companies take retro titles and then reimagine them, and this is one of those, and only cost me 25p, which was quite nice. I felt a little bad because the person I bought it off didn't seem to have any idea what it was worth. In fact, I mean, I've got no idea what it's worth, but I'm sure it's worth more than 25p. Now, I was saying at the beginning of the video that I felt that, well, I'd got to the car boot sale a little bit late. And that's because as I was walking around, I found a stall, which, well, really, it was just a piece of tarpaulin on the ground and loads of junk on it. And towards the back of the tarpaulin was a plastic bucket, and in there was, I think it was Lion King on the Mega Drive. Now, I'm not interested in buying that, but I spoke to the lady. I said, it's a bit strange, you've only got one game. She said, oh no, I had a bucket full of them, and I just sold them a few minutes ago. And I was like, because I was really, one of the things I was there for is I wanted to find some Mega Drive titles. Yeah, damn it. So I wandered around the rest of the car boot and again stumbled across a kind of junk stall, and underneath one of the tables was again a kind of bucket or plastic box, and in it were some PlayStation 1, mostly sports titles, in fact entirely sports titles, and some Mega Drive games. Unfortunately, the bucket had at least an inch of water at the bottom, and a lot of the PlayStation cases were broken and the manuals were sodden, but I found a couple of Mega Drive games. These two. Now, they're not in fantastic condition, especially the WrestleMania game, but for 50p each, well, the woman wanted £1 each, but I said, look, they're in a bucket full of water. I'll give you £1 for the two of them, and she ummed and ahed about it, but then finally agreed, yeah, sure. Go on, take them for £1. And I've tested them, and they both work. Super WrestleMania doesn't have the manual, but Sensible Soccer's complete, and I had a quick go on it, and it's actually really cool. I loved Sensible Soccer on the Amiga, so I'm really looking forward to playing a bit more of that. Now this next game is something that had not only been mentioned in one of the response videos that I received to my first tag, but also I'd seen it in a couple of other videos. Apparently it's got a very good storyline, and the woman wanted £3 for it, and it had got a cracked case, but otherwise was in good condition. The disc looked good and the manual's nice, so I offered her £2 and she accepted, so not too bad. I'd seen it in, you know, Game Station and Game and places like that for £10, so I was quite happy to pick it up for £2. Now this next game is something that I picked up based on a little feeling, a little voice in the back of my head that said, Pete Dorr reviewed this a little while ago and said it was good. Now that might not be true, but that's what the little voice was telling me. And it's Sonic Unleashed. And it was only £3 and it's in very good condition, so I think she wanted £5 originally, but I offered her £3, and yeah, I think it's worth it. So I'm looking forward to playing that very soon. Well, that brings me to the end of the games that I picked up at the car boot sale, and I'll come back to my final car boot sale find at the end. But I'd just like to mention the Blockbuster Bonanza, or at least they weren't calling it that. That's what I called it in my mind. Basically, Blockbuster had decided to reduce all of their PlayStation 2 games and their original Xbox games, although they didn't advertise that. They reduced them all to £1. Unfortunately, I only found out about this sale about 2 weeks or 3 weeks after it started, so there wasn't a great deal of great stuff left, but I still managed to pick up a few titles. So first up is Jet Ion GP, and also, as you can see, Quake 3 Evolution. And then this next game, Freak Out, and also you'll see there Shadow Man 2. And then I picked up Stuntman, and as you can see, Guitar Hero 2. And I've got Guitar Hero 3 and Guitar Hero Rocks the 80s as well. And the final thing I picked up, taking my total to 10 games for £10, were Hitman 2 and, as you can see, Hitman Contracts. Now, to my final pickup, and this was something from the car boot sale, and something that I really didn't think I would find. Not something that's rare, but in a way it's a little bit gutting that I found it and that I got it so cheaply, because it's something I've already got. Yes, and it's this. Yeah, the Commodore Amiga, this time the cartoon pack. Well, I saw this as I was walking around the car boot sale, and, you know, a guy had it on his stall with a few other things, an old television and a few different bits and pieces. And I thought, well, it's not going to be cheap, because I paid £45 for my one, plus £15 delivery. So I went over and asked him, I was like, oh, how much for the Amiga? And he's like, oh, £10. £10? Really? Really? But then I thought to myself, oh, you don't need it. Even though it's cheap, you don't need it. Just carry on looking for games. That's what you're here for. So I wandered around the rest of the car boot sale, and it was just as I was leaving, probably about an hour and a half later, that I strolled past his stall and noticed that it was still there, which I found quite surprising. I thought someone would have snapped that up for £10. So I asked to have a look at it, and he opened up the box, and, you know, as you can see here, it's in really, really good condition. There's a little bit of yellowing and the mouse is in tatty condition, but otherwise it's really good. And so, you know, I pretended that I wasn't that interested and offered him £5 for it, but he wasn't taking that. We finally came to an agreement of £8, and really at that price I don't think you can complain. But the one thing that's a little bit strange about it, as you might have noticed, is the machine in the box is an Amiga 500 Plus, whereas it's supposed to be just a standard Amiga 500 in the cartoon pack, so obviously someone's mixed and matched here to rebuild the bundle. But I don't care. Unfortunately, I haven't tested it yet, so it might be £8 down the drain, but I'll let you know how that goes on a future video. So for now, that's it. Well, it's kind of it, because there's going to be a tag video. If you're interested in video games and you're interested in clothes, you might want to watch the video tag. Hi YouTube, I'm Simon and welcome to my second open tag video.